Hello, it's Angela Nesbitt and welcome to my color story. Today we're taking a deeper dive into our skills as artists. As you know, for the past 5 weeks we've been in the series Unleashing Your Artistic Voice, and I really hope you've enjoyed that. If you missed it and would like to catch up, you can do that on my website, angelanesbitt.com. And also you can grab the free accompanying PDF there as well. But within all that discussion, there were a lot of topics that we just sort of, hit the surface of. So we're going to take the next few weeks and dive a little deeper into those topics. So this week, we're going to start with some skills. We're also going to, this week's going to be color. We're going to, over the weeks, talk about color, value, design. I'm also going to jump in and share a little bit about my story and my experiments and explorations and, how I tell my story and then also how I enjoy the ride. So we're just going to dive a little deeper. And this week's deep dive is the color wheel. I love the color wheel. I have an obsession with it, truly. And I could go total color nerd on you guys till Christmas. That's how much I like to talk about color. So I won't do that. But today we're going to head over to the easel, or actually to the palette, and we're going to take a little up close and personal look at my workstation at some of the color wheels I've collected over time. And a number of the sessions coming up are going to actually be at my workstation. So you will get a little different perspective in my color story over the next few weeks. So we're going to head to the workstation now. Hello and welcome to my palette here with a little stack of color wheels. So just to sort of lead into this, in Unleashing Your Artistic Voice, we talked about how having strong skills help us to express our voice. Well, our color style can clearly define us as an artist, but it's not limited to art. It can also apply in your home and how you decorate it, or even in your garden. So the more we know about color, the more we can let intuition lead us and let us really express our unique vision. I think the good old color wheel is our best friend. Regardless of whether you are a beginner or an advanced painter, I believe it is crucial to keep it close at hand. It establishes logical color relationships and really helps us out with color mixing and design. And it can help you plan. It can also help you solve problems when you run into them. And it's just really a great map that is always there to help you and to teach. So here's a few that I've collected. This is a very basic one. I think it's called the Color Guide. Has the color names or the hue out here on the outside. It has the value scale. It has some color terms. And on this side, it tells you what colors are going to look like when you add different colors together. So, that's pretty basic, I'd say, not really for the advanced painter. On this side, over here, it gets a little more complicated and talks about the complements, the split complements, the triads, and the tetrads. So it helps you in determining those relationships, which can help in creating color harmony and developing your palette. I would say I don't really use this one too much. It also shows the shade, the tone, and the tint, which is adding white, adding gray, and adding black to a color. So that's that one. And then they also have a little pocket guide in case you want to take it with you somewhere. But I think this one's kind of nice. I share this one in my color workshops because it gets into explaining a lot about complements and triads and split complements, and I think that's a really kind of a nice little guide. This is the one that I use the most. This is my workhorse, the Quiller Wheel. I'm actually developing my own color wheel right now, so I'm with a graphic designer I'm very excited about, but this one actually gets into all the paint colors, and also it makes it much easier to find, you know, this is the cooler side of the wheel, this is the warmer side of the wheel. So when you can see the colors next to each other, you can see which one is relatively cooler or relatively warmer, and how they shape up on the color wheel. And then it also helps you to be able to determine, you know, well, what is the exact complement of cad yellow light? We know, you know, if you know, well, this is the triad, so it's going to be ultramarine violet here. But then if you can, you know, come over to a cad orange, then you're going to move over to the ultramarine blue. So it really kind of helps you tweak that complementary relationship, and clearly helps you see triads, which are primary, well, they don't have to be primary, but colors that are equally spaced around the color wheel tend to have a harmonious relationship. There's a whole lot more to that conversation, but typically that can be helpful in determining a palette. So this one really kind of helps that whole overall understanding and really getting pretty specific, and I'll kind of hold it up close, specific about your planning and your color design. This is one that was this is for interior designers, and it's, again, it's pretty simple. It gets into this showing that this is monochromatic, which means, you know, it's kind of all different values or lightnesses and darknesses in the same color. And it gets into the complementary and the split complementary, and then you can spin this a little bit. So, and it's got some explanation. This one's kind of cool. This is a color harmony tool. I think this one may have been from an interior designer too, but this one's kind of cool because it's basically saying that this thing spins, and it's saying that all these colors in this bucket will work together in a painting, and then that this is the complement of the main color, and that, you know, as you turn it, it's going to change. So right now it's yellow and this is the purple. This is all going to work. And then if you punch these two colors here in small amounts, they actually create discord, which means they really don't work. But in a teeny amount, they could draw interest to something like a focal point. So I think this one's kind of neat. It's really just focuses on that harmony and how that works versus having all this, you know, everything that the Quiller Wheel had going on. This is just out of a book by Nita Leland. And again, this one just shows a lot of the paint tube colors, which I find to be rather helpful and than a wheel that's so basic like this one. Then you can get into there's all kinds of tools for printers and designers that are pretty cool. This is a whole color deck that, you know, you can get into a spring green, a green green, a blue green, and then so it gives you all these colors that are considered in the spring green collection. But then when you flip it over, it gives you the monochromatic palette, a complementary palette, analogous, split complementary, and triad. So it's kind of cool for each one of all these cards. So this is called Ultimate 3-in-1 Color Tool. I can't say that I've used it a lot, but it's fun to look at. I have used it a few times just to come up with some new ideas, really. It's more like, I've used the same palette over and over again. I want to do something different and, you know, kind of come to something like this and get some fun ideas. So I hope that spices up your color a little bit and gets you excited to get your color wheel out. All right, have a great day. Until next week.